Alright guys, we're back, and sorry for the quality of that first video. I don't know what happened, something to do with a conversion or something I was doing. So I switched to, actually, this is off of my phone. I've got a real nice Android phone with a HD camcorder, so this actually shoots better video, so I'll use it. So let's pick up on part 2. We pretty much covered the little details, the scale parts, you know, this and that. One thing I was going to pick up on real quick was, I told you about the bits and pieces it comes with, a little bit extra. Now, these here, I ordered. These are just, I ordered 2 sets of extra props, okay? That's how they come there. So you can kind of see how the props are set up there with, if I can get it in the light right here. Got you a couple, there we go. Got the holes in it like that, and they go into the hubs, and these are very thick, almost zero flex to these props, guys. And here's what I was telling you about on the rear landing gear. They give you a bag, a few of them in there. So obviously that's going to break at some point. And I believe I ordered these. I don't think these were a freebie in a bag. These are the braces for the elevator. And then, like I said with other stuff, guys, they just gave you basically, you know, a little bag with some extra control horns and stuff like that. Some extra screws, actually. I've already put those in a different spot. But I went ahead and put a 60 amp speed control in it. Here is the speed control that it came with. Now this is a 50 amp, I believe it is an Airfield speed control. What I didn't like about it was it had no listing whatsoever of what the BEC was. Now with, what, 1, 2, 3 servos in each wing, so 6 just in the wings, and then you have your elevator, your rudder, and if you choose to add anything else, such as a bomb drop or anything like that, which I will be adding, you know, that's even more. So I'm going to go ahead and go with a big, nice UBC on this, an 8 amp to 15 amp Turnigy that can run basically off of a 2-cell all the way up to a 26 volt battery. So I'll just have a little 2 or 3 cell in there, probably 1500 to 2000 milliamp. To push the whole system and any additional things I put on. One main problem is due to that strobe light that I had on it in the previous video, guys. That thing causes a lot of RF interference with the radio system. You'll notice in that video, if you go back and watch it, you'll see my flap kind of flutter as it goes down a few times. The first few times I do it. That was all because of that strobe light being hooked in through my receiver for that video. When I hook it in through my BEC separately, because my BEC that I have has dual outputs, one for the receiver and one for accessories that do not mix together, it causes no interference whatsoever. So, part of the reason I'm running that. So let's get back to the goodies here, guys. Alright, right off the bat, we're going to go over landing gear. Now, Orbit, I know, was really interested in this part of the aircraft, and rightfully so. Now the Stuka does not have retracts in real life or on the model here, so you know, they kept it scale. The skirts are just like the real ones. You know, they are made out of a plastic. It is a kind of a PVC style plastic, though. It is a tough plastic. You can tell by the feel. Now they came already assembled and everything like that. But I was kind of thinking the same way he was. I wanted to know what was inside. So I went ahead over here, and then I pulled all the screws out before I installed them. Took them apart to see what was inside. Well, this whole thing, guys, obviously is hollow. Now it does have cross braces that go across it to make it strong. Because like I said, guys, it is strong. There's no, you know, bending it, squeezing it, smashing it, or anything like that. This is a true rubber wheel. You know, feels aired up and all, and everything on them was great. Now, what I didn't like, the only weak point I found in these, and I'll lift it up here a little bit to show you, was the wheel. Okay, now before I did my mod to it, you could get this wheel and it would have some shake in it, some wobble. You could actually hear the rattle. So when I opened it up, I noticed that right here on the wheel there was a pin going through a pair of set holes. There's a hole here and a hole on the other side. It's a metal pin that goes through the wheel and into the other hole. Well, this being plastic and that pin being metal, not a good combination to prevent vibration, cracking, and stuff like that. So I noticed I had a little bit of play in my hub of my wheel. So all I did, guys, was I got some heat shrink that just fit on that on that metal bar just perfectly. I slid the heat shrink completely covering the metal bar, and you know, put the torch lighter to it and shrunk it all up, and then got a razor blade and cut off the edges. Now what this did was it allowed that bar to seat in the hole a lot stronger. The bar does not need to spin, guys. So it was seated in the hole on each side where it fit tight. There was no more play in it. Okay, a little bit of play in a bar in a plastic landing gear when you come in for a landing, even if you can't move it, but you can hear it rattle a little bit from just a little play. If you've got space there, okay, when you come and have impact on this gear, it's going to multiply because of the fact that you have a gap that it can move in. So I eliminated the gap. I made the wheels to where there is no play in the wheels whatsoever, just by heat shrinking that. Okay? Now when I put it in one side, I made the side without the screws, so the side my hand's on now, kind of the permanent side. I permanently fixed that bar in the hole with epoxy. So that's just the little mod I did. Now as far as the gear up on the wing, they mount to the wing right here with four you know, crosshead screws with washers. They do come with washers. Actually, well, I'm going to take that back, guys. They don't come with washers. I added washers because I don't want simply the head of a screw holding on the gear. So that is one thing I would highly recommend, is adding washers to your gear. Okay? Now that whole plate, that whole set comes up through the top here, as you can see. Okay, and there she is. Gear comes up, screws through, and screws into this plate here, and this plate gets sucked down just a little bit and lets you know that you're tight and secure in there. So that's how the gear set up. I have taken it out in the yard, hit it full throttle in my backyard. My front yard's nice and neat and nice, so my backyard has got the bumps everywhere. I hit some bumps, I did some rudder turns, not a problem at all there. You know, and I even lifted the tail up a little too fast a couple times, so I'm real confident in the gear holding up, guys. Even coming in with a crosswind and having to land at a little bit of an angle, it shouldn't be a problem at all. So no issues that I'm concerned of as far as gear being weak at all on this. This has a really strong. Matter of fact, when I'm working on it, that is how I pick the whole plane up. I'll grab it right here by the gear, flip it around, do all my stuff like that. So I don't have any concerns about it, but I will definitely keep you updated. After the first flight, I'll try and give her some purposely hard landings just to see how it works. So alright, I'm trying to think anything I forgot, guys, or left out. Now there's a couple things you definitely want to fix and work on this plane before you you know, take it out for its maiden. Let me kill this light back here, guys. It's killing me. Alright. Now, like I said, you can leave the guns on, take them off. They're made to slide on and off perfectly. You know, add a little detail to some of your scale things. Sorry, I got my J10 back there. It's getting a little addition put onto it here, so I'm working on it also. It's just drying up some epoxy. One thing you want to do on the elevator, like I said, that's where I had a little bit of my, you know, kind of problem area, but it worked out great. Just go ahead and test fit that in and out of there a few times to loosen up that foam around it. Now definitely this is plastic, and the part that fits inside the rudder here is plastic also, so everything that goes together is plastic. So obviously you want to get some sandpaper, guys, and you want to rough up and scuff up that plastic. Then just get you some water 50-50 with alcohol and wipe that off. Get it nice and clean, so you'll have nice scuffed up plastic going on to nice scuffed up plastic. That's going to ensure you a tight, good hold. Okay, so, and on the other part, two more things that are definite must-dos on this, guys. Now I know the control rods here, good control rods, and they do have back plates with screws. However, that doesn't mean much of anything to me, okay? So what I did, and I went a little overboard on this one, so this is a good example. I'll be touching that up here soon. Basically what I did was, before I put any of these on, I got some sandpaper on a little bitty file that I had, and I cleaned off all the paint on the top side and the bottom side where the horn goes. And I cleaned off all the paint, cleaned that off with alcohol and water, and then made sure that was all good and dry. And then I put one little drop of epoxy, okay, right in the middle, tiny drop, in the middle on both sides, mounted them and screwed them on and tightened them. Okay, so if I ever lost my screws, maybe I would notice it before it gave me any problems. Okay, now the biggest complaint online you'll find about this bird, and really the only complaint that I'm finding, is right here. You'll notice that the ailerons, very unique, guys, the spacing between the ailerons and the flaps, the way the Stuka is designed. Now for some reason, and I left a couple so we could see here, let me try and get it focused in. Okay, for some reason where this goes onto the wing, okay, all they did was put pretty much a double-sided sticky tape underneath this, okay, over paint, once again one of my pet peeves, over paint, and then put this on there with a little dab, as you can see right here, with a little dab of just their rubber cement stuff. Now, yeah, I'd probably hold it, but I've already heard of guys losing some of these and even the loss of a plane or two because of this. So, you know, one of my pet peeves there. So what I did, and I haven't done it to a few on this wing, and I'm going to do it here soon, is I highly recommend going through and pulling all of those off. Okay, giving them a sanding, giving them a cleaning, rough them up, and epoxy those back on, okay? Because these, for some reason, are known to pull from the wing and give you problems. Now, the ones in the actual control surfaces, I've noticed, are very strong, mounted very well. I would rip off one of the control surfaces before one of those came out. But that's something you definitely want to take a look at, are all of the black hinges along the wings. Okay, now the wings, the only part that has it, elevator and rudder, are your standard EPO hinge. So nothing too crazy there. So now we're gonna open her up, cover the last thing here on another long video. Okay, now I still have my battery in there and my speed control. Like I said, your battery and your speed control fit up in there. They are separate, grooved out, but I will be adding a little bit of just good old DeBro receiver style foam to separate them, but not to wrap up my speed control or block any air movement through the chamber whatsoever. Okay, now here's what surprised me, guys, and get ready for this. Okay, now see this bundle? Yeah, minus the receiver, guys. This is how she comes. Of course, obviously not hooked up. Okay, you have got a lot of double Y splitters. You've got a couple quads that come off. All of that just so you can use your 6-channel receiver, okay? And I do go with the Hobby King orange receivers. I'm done spending $100-something on crappy Spectrums that break or that don't break, but that give me nothing but problems and cause me to lose planes. Switched to these, haven't had a problem since. I love these things. But on a different note, guys, here's what you get, okay? And every one of these connectors you see is coming from the wings. The elevator and the rudder servos, which are right here sitting in a tray, nice and neat. Okay, they come just straight out and into your receiver. Your speed control comes straight out and into your receiver. So every single one of these guys comes from the wings. Now they all are marked, which is nice, but at the same time, man, each one of these is just one more thing that could go wrong. I hate this design, this part of it. So keep them in good condition. Make sure they're always, you know, connected good. I highly recommend these for any extension Y connection or anything I use. Are these right here. The blue that you see over it, guys, this is actually a extension guard. What this does is it snaps over your extension, okay, and makes it to where you can't pull it apart at all, and it will not pop out of that extension. And I'll show you here on this bag here. Here we go. Here's a bag right here of them. Now these are the little steps I still got to put on, the side steps for the plane. So in this bag here is just some of those little blue guards I was talking about. Definitely want to snap those on. Those things are a must. So once I divide, and I've got each wing divided already, as you can see here with tape. So once I divide all these, get them nice, straight, wound up like they should be and everything like that, I'll be okay with it. But I still have to fit my UBEC in there. So that'll all be coming up. I probably won't, you know, throw that in the video unless somebody has a question about it. But once I get her done, I'll just do a quick once over with her so you can see how it looks once it's all cleaned up and looks the way it should. Just remember to check all the screws, guys. Loctite everything that you can Loctite, and have fun with her. She's a blast. Not much to build, but if you take your time, there's a lot of stuff you can do to make it a lot better. So that's where I'm at. Still got that UBC to add, but other than that, I am ready to go. And the last thing, and I'll let you guys get out of here. All right, is right here, guys, between the aileron and the aileron and the first flap, the long flap. On both wings, you're gonna have this. Nowhere else on the plane do you have this, and I've already sanded on mine, believe it or not. My flaps are in the down position for a reason. You can see this little ridge that is built up right here, guys. These, when they're actually equal and level, push against each other. Big time friction. So I'm going to get in there and make a decent little gap in between the flap and the aileron so I don't have any rubbing, so I don't have any chance of a binding servo, or so I don't put too many amps on a servo causing, you know, a possible low voltage situation. So I don't want to overrun a servo and cause some amp draw. So I'm going to get that cleaned out. That is a must, guys, on both wings between the aileron and the first flap. They made all these a tight fit, which I like. So I get to go in there and clean that out the way I like to clean it out. And it is the same way on the other wing. So, guys, that's about it. Unless you guys have any questions and want me to go over something that I didn't cover, there is the Stuka in a nutshell. Highly recommend it, and I'm a very picky builder. And I could not recommend this plane more. It is beautiful. It is built well. There's a ton of stuff you can do to improve it. And it is a powerhouse. That is a mean motor in there. So, and from what I've read, just a gentle, easy flyer, but a blast to fly. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them. I'll definitely get back to you. So until the next update, something. I don't know what's going to be coming next, something. Keep on flying, guys, and have a good holiday.